The Legacy Lightsabers have some upside to them. They're awesome, but they also have their problems. So is it worth buying them or even collecting them? I'm going to give you all the good and I'm going to give you all the bad on what they really are. So please come and explore with me, y'all. Hey y'all, I'm Jason and you're watching Nash Disney Explorers. I really appreciate you joining me. As you can see, I have a pretty good collection of Legacy Lightsabers. I don't have all of them, but I do have most of them. So I do have some experience with this. I'm going to make a pros and cons list of what I think are great about them and also what I don't think so great about them. So let's get right to this. The number one thing for me would be the adventure of it. I love going to the parks, either in Disney World or Disneyland, and just going there and getting a lightsaber. I know that could be a problem for some, and I'll get to that later. But for me, I really enjoy the adventure of it, just going and doing it and just having fun with it. Many occasions where my family and I have just went down on a whim just to get a lightsaber. One occasion was my wife and I went down to get the Ahsoka Tano Clone Wars lightsabers. We had an absolute blast. We went down for like a day just to get those. We also did it with the Darksaber. Part of that fun is that you get to really go into Galaxy's Edge. You get to feel like you're in Star Wars. And I love going into the store Doc Ondars, Den of Antiquities. That is just a wonderful store. When you walk in, you're just amazed by all the artifacts that they have in there. And you get to buy a lot of cool things. And one of those things are the Legacy Lightsabers that they have in a case. You got tons to choose from. The second thing that I think is really cool about these Legacy Lightsabers is that they're a licensed product. They're actual Star Wars products. And I think that goes a long way. You know, the third thing would be that the quality of these things are actually pretty good. They're made of metal. I would say most of them are made pretty well. There are some exceptions, and I'll get to that later. I mean, you can see in this Rey lightsaber here that it's solid. It's a solid lightsaber. It's a little on the heavy side, but it is a good solid lightsaber, and it's great. Kind of leads into my next plus that I think about these lightsabers is that they're great to display, as you can see behind me. They're a great display piece. When you put them up, you can have them out and people really enjoy going to look at them when you have them displayed correctly. And when it comes to the blades, my next point is that the blades are pretty cool because they just lock in real easy. You just put them in and twist them and it goes in and they go in and they come out really easy and really simple. And each blade fits all of the hilts with one exception with Yoda. Yoda's is a little smaller, so they had to make one, customized one for the Yoda lightsaber. But all the rest of them, you can buy, if you want to buy multiple hilts, you don't have to buy a blade for each one of them. You can buy one blade if you want. I would say buy two because, you know, then you can do more with it. I think the most fun that we've had with our Legacy lightsabers is we've taken them out and we've beaten them up. We've battled with one another, we've hit them, we've dropped them, we've scratched them, we've dropped them from a house. But one video when we were testing these Legacy lightsabers, it was the Ahsoka Tano Rebel Legacy lightsaber, we took the lightsaber and we started smashing windows and it completely destroyed the blade. But the hilt was fine, it was strong. So these hilts on these Legacy lightsabers are actually well made and they're pretty dang durable because all my lightsabers still work, even after all the abuse and the things that I've done to some of them. I don't abuse them all, but there's been a few of them that we've gone out and done some stuff with and, you know, they work still. I think the price is pretty reasonable on these, especially for what you get. You know, they range, I've bought them anywhere from $129 to $179 for one hilt. It'll cost you more if you get two hilts in one box. It'll cost you a lot more if you get the special limited edition boxes. I've spent up to, I think, with tax, up to $400 for some of those. All right, now on to the bad stuff. You know, these things aren't perfect. They have some problems with them, and you know, I need to let you know what some of those problems are. If you haven't bought a Legacy lightsaber, maybe you need to know these things. So some of the cons are, number one is you have to go into either Disney World or Disneyland to get these things for the most part. They do have places on the outside of the parks, like for instance in Disney World, you can go into Disney Springs. They have a store there that you can buy some of the Legacy lightsabers. I'm not sure if they have all of them, but at times they have all of them. So it can get kind of expensive to do a Disney trip just to get a lightsaber, if that's the only thing you're really wanting. You have other options. They have what they call smugglers that can go in and get you the lightsaber that you want and then send it to you for a fee. You know, the fee's not terrible on some of the sites that I've seen, but you do have that option. Another option you have is to go onto some site like eBay. Now, you probably pay a lot more for that. It's nothing I've ever done. But if you really want the Legacy lightsabers, that is an option. I'm sure you're going to pay an arm and a leg going to those sites, but it still might be cheaper than a Disney vacation. My number two thing that I don't think so great about them is the electronics. I would say the electronics are just okay. They're nothing like a custom lightsaber where the electronics are really good. When you swing it, the sounds really crisp and sharp, just like any action that you're making on a lightsaber, you can hear it. When you clash it, all those things, and it's loud and you can really see it. And also the NeoPixel blades in those custom blades are really, really bright, where these blades aren't so bright. But for what you get for the money, it's still a good product. It's something a lot of people don't like about the Legacy lightsabers. It's just electronics aren't that great. My next point, if you want to start buying these, you get into the habit of wanting more, right? And that can become a problem sometimes because they keep making more and it can get real expensive. So the negative part of all this is that the price will really go up if you really want to collect them all. And that could put a hole in your pocket. Now, I decided that I'm not going to collect them. I don't want the whole entire collection anymore. At one point, I was trying to collect all of them, but I'm just going to go and pick out the ones that I like. There's some of them that I don't really care for that much, like the new Kanan that they just came out with, they just released. I went and looked at it. It's just really big and bulky for me that I'm like, nah, not interested. I mean, I might end up with it someday, but for now, no. My next point is that some of them are kind of cheap. I mean, take for instance the Princess Leia one, Leia Organa. It's terribly made. You can see the things are the pearl inlay things here are just peeling off, and they've been doing that for a long time. And the paint job on it's probably one of the worst paint jobs I've seen on a Legacy lightsaber. But this is probably the worst of all of them that I would think quality-wise. But some of them feel a little cheaper than others. Their weight is different than a lot of them. You have some really heavy ones, and you have some that are very light. And so, you know, you have to decide if you want a heavy one. If you use it a lot, I wouldn't want a heavy one. It's like lifting a weight all the time. And then one thing that I don't particularly like all that much is that they all take batteries, right? Batteries you have to take in and out. So if you use them a lot, you constantly have to change batteries. One thing I will say, though, it does seem to last. See, look, one just went out, and the other one just went out. That's not because of the battery. I just left them on too long. But the batteries sometimes just get to be a pain. They do have a couple now, or maybe a few. I have a couple that have rechargeable batteries in them, and I like that because I can just plug them in and charge them up when I want to use them. I don't have to go buy batteries and put them in. You know, that price can add up. And then on some of the lightsabers, you have to change the emitter on it just to fit the blade, and I don't like that at all. I like the original way the lightsaber is supposed to look, and when you have to alter that and put on that thick piece just to get the blade in, it's not a look I really like. So I'd rather just leave them on my shelf displayed in the original form that they're supposed to be. And my last point on the negative side of things is that the blades. Another thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is when you're using a lightsaber, you shake it, the blade wobbles a lot. And I know that's a way to keep the hilt safe, because we've whacked them a lot, we've battled with one another a lot, and the hilt's always stayed safe. And so I think that's a defense mechanism that kind of helps it, but the wobble's kind of annoying. So I bring it back to the original question that I asked. Are these things worth buying, or are they worth collecting? I enjoy collecting them. Like I said, I'm not going to probably try to collect all of them, but I do enjoy my lightsaber collection. For you, that's really your decision and your choice. If you were just on a tight budget or anything, I would say just go look for your favorite one. They have a lot to choose from when you go there. And just pick one, you know, pick one, have some fun with it. It's really fun to just get one or two if you're with your family, and go into Galaxy's Edge at nighttime, put the blade in, get your lightsaber out, take some wonderful pictures next to the Millennium Falcon, next to the X-Wing, all kinds of fun places to take pictures. And you can just feel like you're in Star Wars. That's what I really like about it, is I go there and you can feel like you're in the Star Wars universe. I've given you some good pros and good cons about what I like and what I don't like about them. I hope this video helped you. If it did help you, please hit that like button. That would really help me out a lot. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next video.